Room 442 is brought to you by North Star Bets. That's a win.
A Champions League winner at Liverpool, a World Cup winner with Spain, and a Bundesliga champion with Bayern Munich. Nobody was doubting Xabi Alonso's credentials as a player, but few could have predicted how quickly he'd show his class as a manager. Having only limited experience at youth level in Spain, Xabi took over at Leverkusen last year, with the club struggling in the league at 17th, facing the drop zone for the first time in decades. To say the Spaniard has turned things around is an understatement. Xabi guided Leverkusen on a 5-game winning streak either side of the World Cup and has since gone unbeaten in 14 matches across all competitions since February. Next week, the German outfit will head to the Italian capital to face Jose Mourinho's Roma in the semi-final of the Europa League. And with 5 games left to play in the Bundesliga, Leverkusen are 6th in the league, just 8 points short of the Champions League places. So how far can the former Liverpool midfielder take his team this season? And is Xabi Alonso poised to become the next big name in football management? Yes, that's right. Mr. Xabi Alonso has absolutely revived Bayer Leverkusen. I'm Sarah Pararia, joined alongside James Sharman. And James, how exciting has it been watching Xabi Alonso really turn this team around?
Yeah, it really has. It's 13 games unbeaten at this point. 14 now, is it? And
incredible.
I mean, they probably won't make the Champions League spots this year, but Europa League spots, absolutely. And who knows, maybe a cup along the way as well. This guy, when he played for some of the biggest clubs in world football, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, he was such what they call a cultured midfielder, right? He did everything. His passing was incredible, but also had that real edge to him. You didn't mess with Alonso. And also the flamboyancy from popping a goal from inside his own half. He loved that as well. So he really had it all, that all-encompassing central midfielder. And people back in those days would remark how intelligent he was as a footballer. And now we're seeing that as a coach at Leverkusen, right?
Yeah.
He's a smart coach, albeit in his infancy. He's still learning the trade. Hasn't been around for too long, of course. It's only been since October at Leverkusen, but already he's been linked with some big clubs. Real Madrid, he's the next manager after Ancelotti.
Can you imagine?
Big link now with Spurs as well, right?
No, don't do that.
But, I mean, that could be a good fit for him, right? Potentially.
Yeah.
A team with some talent and a team with some central midfielders of some report, right? This guy was one of the greatest of the modern generation.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, he plays a 3-5-2 at Leverkusen, right? And Spurs have been playing through the back for a while. Not to any great effect, mind you, but it wouldn't be a big adjustment for them, would it? So I think it's great. He's one of my favourite players of all time, Xabi Alonso. And to see him, albeit early on, do a great job on the bench there, I'm very happy for him.
Yeah, no, I mean, even though he was a Madrid player, like watching him at Spain was just like when I grew up, like he was one of the guys, like it was him, Xavi, and Iniesta. And just
think about that.
That's not fair.
That is not fair.
That's not fair.
And then he had Marcus Senna just before there too, right?
Yeah.
And he'd pop in.
Sergio Busquets just after that. Like the midfielders in Spain, I will say, just they're doing what they do.
They do what they do, exactly. Yeah. I mean, because like I said, he was almost overshadowed internationally because he had Xavi and Iniesta, who, as great as Xabi Alonso was, those guys are the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
But yeah, any Spain fan knows how important he was to that side.
Yeah, but no, let's talk about where he was and how he got to Leverkusen, because he was with Real Madrid, the under-14s, and then Real Sociedad, the B side there. Then he comes to Bayer Leverkusen. So this is really his first proper managerial job at like a top position, and like we're talking about in the Bundesliga, one of the top 5 in Europe, and they were 17th of 18th in the Bundesliga, and now they're 6th. As you mentioned, 14 games unbeaten. They're heading to a Europa League semi-final. He's really like just a different breed, I think, and I really think we could be seeing potentially the next big manager that was formerly a player.
Could well be, yeah. Well, listen, let's not get too ahead of ourselves, because
fair.
Once upon a time, Frank Lampard at Derby County
No,
did a great job there.
Don't you dare compare Frank to this man.
Why?
Because Leverkusen is a much bigger team than Derby, and once Frank made the jump to a bigger team, Chelsea, Everton, Chelsea again, he's not been good. I've not thought he's
I get that. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But my point being, just he's very early in his career. Everything's working for him right now, right?
Yeah.
Let's see it over a prolonged time. At a different club, at a bigger club. Frank Lampard made the jump too soon.
Yeah.
To Chelsea. I think, as mentioned before, all the teams he's been linked with, probably the best move for Xabi Alonso is to stay at Leverkusen.
one more
seems
season
right
at
for him.
least.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah.
Learn your chops.
But that's also, I think if we see him do that, that would automatically make me think, oh, you're also a smarter manager too. You're not just going to hop on over. Like, take your time. You remember when Xavi was in Saudi Arabia getting his, feet wet, or Qatar rather, practicing his coaching before he came to Barcelona, and he was saying, I needed to basically just practice being a coach more. Yeah, it's such a lower level club.
But it's tempting though, right? You can understand. Say it is a Real Madrid, or even
Real
a Spurs.
Madrid,
Spurs, Premier League.
Real Madrid would be the only team that could really pull him out of there. Like Spurs, he could be a good fit, but Real Madrid he's such a Real Madrid player when I think of it. I know he's a Liverpool player as well, but
is he ever?
Yeah. So it would have to be.
When I shut my eyes, he's wearing red. Spain and
See,
Liverpool.
that's the thing. I only really I think of because it's the Real Madrid and Barca in me that I remember him being the opposite. But yeah, I mean maybe Real or Liverpool, would I see them being a potential team that could pull him out? But I think he'll stay at least.
Yeah, I think he should, right? I mean, that's not the move right now for him. I mean, I see Spurs, they come knocking. The Premier League has a lot of pull, and they can pay him a lot more money than Leverkusen too. But from an intelligence standpoint, learn your trade. It's not under the radar in Germany. Obviously, It's one of the top 3 or 4 leagues in world football, and Leverkusen is a big club, albeit not on the same level. I don't quite think. Maybe they're the Spurs of Germany, perhaps that kind of level.
No, but see, they're actually doing something.
I know. Let's not get into who's better, Leverkusen or Tottenham Hotspur right now. We'll get Albert into that conversation. But he improves players as well. We've seen some young players really step up there. Palacios in midfield there, very much in an attacking role, has been superb this season. And with one of the greatest central midfielders of all time coaching you can understand why they love that. So, listen, wherever he ends up, I think he'll be a success. He looks good too, doesn't he? On the sidelines, he cuts the figure of a very cultured, sophisticated European manager. Sophisticated
is the word I'd use for him. You mentioned you don't think that they're going to get a UCL spot in the Bundesliga, but they have a very important match next week in Rome, semi-final Europa League. Do you think that he'll be able to get by Mourinho more so than Roma? It's hard, very
right?
difficult.
Mourinho, the master at these kind of encounters.
He'll get
Cup
into
football.
your head.
Yeah, the old guard and Mourinho and the new guard coming through. Mourinho knows all about Xabi Alonso from his various tilts. So it'd be interesting. I love those kind of battles. You see the young emerging manager with the footballing past against the guy that's been there, done it, has the CV to show for it. So it should be a fascinating match, actually, and a huge game for both managers.
Yeah, no, I think so as well. I'm actually going to back Leverkusen here, though. I think they'll be able to get it done. Roma's kind of falling all over themselves, and got to focus on the Scudetto.
They're focusing on the
UCL
top 4
points. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. That's Europa League next week, as well as the Champions League, and we'll be covering it at all. Oh my God, I can't even speak. This happened again yesterday, didn't it? It's the voice.
You got to close it out. It's all about the closing.
I can't close it out. No, I'm still struggling with my voice here. But yes, all of that next week we'll be covering it. So make sure you keep watching Room 442.
Room 442 is brought to you by North Star Bets. That's a win.